guys, and welcome to Women of the World, where we learn about different women from different cultures and how they enjoy their livelihood. And as today, I'll be your host, Nissy Ogweno, and we'll be having two guests from the Dawoodi Bohra Community. Now, before we introduce these two beautiful ladies, let's learn more about this interesting Dawoodi community. The Dawoodi Bohrans are Muslims that can be traced back to the heritage of the Fatemi Imams, the descendants of Prophet Muhammad. They are led by the Dai, the unrestricted missionary. The Dawat began in Yemen, but for the last 450 years, they have been operating from India, and the community is spread out in around 40 countries where they thrive to live peaceful, meaningful, prosperous lives and spread their faith. They are found in huge populations in India, the Middle East, East Africa, Pakistan, and Yemen, as well as growing in nations like Europe, North America, Southeast Asia, and Australia. Tell me more about your origin.
As we said before, our origin can be traced back to Yemen, but the Dawat moved to India approximately 450 years ago. In one of those years, our leader during our great-great-parents' time, the 43rd Dai, Sayyidina Abi Ali Saifuddin, sent some of our people to Africa to start trading and doing business. The Dawoodi Bohra, technically, it means business people. That is what we are known for. Our holiness has always tried for us having our own business, be less service-minded, help us have a stronger sense of self-identity.
Oh, and does that include women too?
Of course, women have their own businesses, handle their own finances even after marriage. My own grandmother, from my mom's side, she used to be an all-rounder in the kitchen. She used to cook, she used to bake, she used to sew. And my own mother even, she's a businesswoman who works with body care for products.
Our roots have been based on women being equal. There are many women in our history who have made significant changes, also left their mark on our faith, tradition, and culture.
Might you be having any examples?
Yes, we do. Mulatuna Khadija, Prophet Muhammad's wife, she was the first to commit to the faith of Islam. Then there is Prophet Muhammad's daughter, known as Mulatuna Fatima. She plays a big role in shaping of women's importance until today's time and longer.
Oh, that is amazing. Do you have any Bohra women role models right now?
My mother, she fought everyone just to be with us.
For me, my mom. My mom has fought battles that I can't even imagine being placed in. She fought all these battles and she was still working.
Oh, that is wonderful to hear. Still, about the background and history, can you tell us more about the women in education back in the days? Was your community in favor of women education?
Not just our community, but the religion of Islam itself has always favored women in education. The Prophet Muhammad said the pursuit of knowledge is compulsory for every Muslim man and Muslim woman. So there was never a restriction on women working or studying. It was always a culture. It was more of a cultural thing than a religious thing.
In our community, we have women studying the same as men, and we have the best example for education, Al-Madrasa to Safia to Burhaniya and Al-Jamia to Safia. Women are highly valued in both the institutions where they can both teach and learn.
Interesting. And where are these two institutions?
Okay, actually, the first branch of 44 of MSB was in Nairobi. It was established in 1984 by His Late Holiness Sayyidina Muhammad Burhanuddin. There is also a university called Al-Jamia. One of them proudly stands in Nairobi, Kenya, which makes me proud that I'm from Dawoodi Bohra Community and I'm a Kenyan.
That is so great to hear. Have any of you studied in either of these institutions before?
Actually, me and Sarrah, we graduated MSB in 2020.
Oh, of course, class of 2020. Well, lastly, on the background in history, you mentioned your community having two institutions established by His Holiness. Does His Holiness have any ties to Kenya?
The Mu'minin of Kenya have been blessed with the honor of having an Al-Jamia and being the first city with the MSB Institute. Also, we have our own housing complex for Mu'minin, or the Bohra, that has been a home for Mu'minin for a very long time.
And on January Day 2022, His Holiness was presented with the highest honor in Kenya by His Excellency President William Ruto. He was presented with the Chief of the Order of the Golden Heart of the Republic of Kenya in recognition of his numerous philanthropic contribution across the whole world and his leadership role in fostering interfaith dialogue as well as peace and harmony among the people of Kenya, the wider East Africa region, and the world at large.
What language did this Dawoodi Bohra speak and write in ideally?
We speak Lisan Dawat. We speak and write it both. It is a combination of Urdu, Persian, Arabic, and Gujarati. It emerged a millennium ago when the Dawat moved to Gujarat. Our language preserves our culture and spiritual roots while evolving with the needs of time.
What significance does the language have to the community and religion? As time evolves, are the youth still speaking it as a first language, or are there any new changes?
Our language script consists of Arabic, and with some of the structure and syntax coming from Gujarati, it has an Islamic dimension that has facilitated the transmission of Quranic values and Fatemi heritage. It articulates the Islamic roots while serving as a link to its Indian heritage.
From my experience, our youth has been speaking it as a first language, and I think it's because of His Holiness's insistence on the language being spoken a lot at home.
Since the Bohra are known to be business people, what important traditions are these businesses for your community?
The most important one to us is no interest, which means we don't deal with any form of business that consists with interest or usually under any condition. We don't take interest and we don't give interest.
And in today's time, is that tradition challenging to people who want to start up business, probably since they can't get loans from banks or when you're in need of it?
It would have been, but the late His Holiness Dr. Sayyidina Muhammad Burhanuddin set out schemes of giving Qardan Hasana. Qardan Hasana is a good loan, which are interest-free, and there are schemes running worldwide where people can take loans from there, and anyone use it for saving. When we were in MSP, we used it for saving too.
Are the loans harder to get for women?
I'm not sure what the process of a loan is, but I have never heard anyone complain about the loans because of their gender.
What other customs and traditions do you have that are different?
An important tradition we have is there are 10 days in Muharram, so that is like January for us. In those 10 days we close our businesses, we stop schooling, we close down all our activities and mourn Imam Hussein.
And has this ever affected you from a personal level?
Never. I once had exams during those times, so I applied for a special exam and did my exams way ahead of the other classmates. And because of the blessing of those 10 days, I got a very good grade for that semester especially.
What are the opportunities you have had through this community and that you're grateful for?
I have been granted safety and protection. Our housing complex has grown a lot and developed so much throughout the year.
Self-identity. I feel like myself in my clothing. When people see me in street and they see my clothing, they know which community I am from and therefore respect me. And I get a sense of belonging when I talk about where I am from, who I am, who my leader is. Whenever I have a problem, I know His Holiness has a solution for me.
You have said that there are many people in your community, right? How do all of you communicate to His Holiness?
In any country where there are community members, we have a representative sent from His Holiness who manages everything from our servant to our queries or any other proceeding. We also send in what is called an arzi to the office of the Dai, where we can get response when we have a request or need guidance.
And are there any challenges you have faced as a Bohra, or rather as Bohra women?
I don't know if this is a common struggle, Bohra clothing, especially for women, is very unique. And then we have certain restrictions of what we can wear, like we can't wear ties. So normally when going to schools or working outside, some places have uniforms. Some places, and then because we can't wear anything else except our ridas outside, we face the challenge that people don't accept our clothing, or some people do accept it and let us design their uniform according to our clothes.
Obviously, there are many people who aren't familiar with the Bohras. So when we go outside to school or work, there are assumptions of us not being Kenyan, being foreign, etc. Yet some of our family have been in Kenya for generations.
Do you face challenges when educating people about your community? Do they judge or react negatively?
I've only ever received admiration when talking to people about our community. But there's this one thing where men can't hug other women, especially if you're not blood related, and some do take it personally. But at the end of the day, we have no control over what other people think.
Back to you. There is a distinct way in which the Bohra men and women dress. Can you speak more on the male dress code?
Men traditionally wear a white piece outfit, Sarrah and Nissy, a cap which has golden design called a topi. Some Sarrahs are of color too.
What do they wear when they're working?
Some wear kurtas, some wear shirts, but they wear the topis wherever they go.
And what do women wear?
We wear a two-piece dress called the rida. It is different from other forms of hijab by its bright colors, decorative patterns and lace.
Did you used to wear that from birth?
No, we wear it after our misak, which is a formal ritual where we commit to a faith, which is predominantly after the age of 15 or 16.
Well, in that case, what did you used to wear when you were younger?
We wear jablaiza, which is the kurta and pants version of the rida. Yeah, that's the best way we can explain it.
Yeah. The young girls also wear this all the time?
Usually only when they are at the mosque or somewhere religious. Some families prefer wearing it all the time, while some don't. So they wear skirts, dress, or other clothing of choice.
Is there any oppression in wearing the rida?
Now that depends on the family, to be honest. I know I wasn't forced to wear these clothes. I prefer wearing them.
I feel that you two have a strong pride in your clothing, so I have no further questions on this segment. Let's move on to the last one then, shall we? My favorite segment of this show. What are your favorite dishes?
Personally, I like gulab jamun and butter chicken.
And I am a honey enthusiast.
What part of the world is your cuisine mostly influenced with?
I would say Middle East and India.
What are your mannerisms during a meal?
We are known for joining each other during meals. We sit around thal, which is supported by a kundi. Families eat together. The food is served for the people around the thal to share.
We start our meal by taking a pinch of salt that tends to keep away many diseases.
People end their meal with desserts, but we prefer to start with our desserts.
We end our meals with a pinch of salt again, but sometimes before we take a pinch of salt, fruits, pan, and children is sometimes served too.
Who cooks this day-to-day meals for your household?
Our community provides our meals through Faisal Mawaidul Burhania. His late Holiness Sayyidina Muhammad Burhanuddin initiated this system because he had a desire to make sure no member of the Dawoodi Bohra community goes back hungry. In whichever country there is a Dawoodi Bohra, this service is there. This helps students who are away from their family, women who now don't need to worry about the meal.
Faisal Mawaid has expanded outside the Bohra community to provide food for the hungry as well as aid and relief supplies for emergencies and natural disasters.
His Holiness Sayyidina Muhammad Saifuddin has made sure this initiative continues to grow and is implemented thoroughly ever since its inception 10 years ago.
Well, that is my last question for you guys today. Thank you so much for coming and answering these questions here. Let's move on to the final comments and wrap up this episode. Much for watching today's video. It has been such an honor to learn more about these Dawoodi women and men and traditions they have. Thank you so much, ladies, for also coming to this show. Is there anything you'd like to add? Any comment, concern, anything?
We would like to give you a gift of appreciation for inviting us here.
Oh wow! This is actually a very good cosmetic company. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for this amazing gift. You guys should also get this too. I mean, it's affordable, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching and have yourself a good time.